Hello, good evening. Shifa and Prerna. Good evening.
Good evening.
Kindly confirm if my voice is clear to both of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right then. So let's start this session. So I think I might have discussed with you that we need to start a new concept, new topic in the chapter, which is forfeiture of shares, right? Now, apart from the forfeiture, we have discussed. Let me just check. Could any one of you please tell me which is the last question that we discussed in the class? Could you please tell me the question number that we did in the last session? Any one of you, please?
So question number 18. And you
Did
give
question number
19 and 21 for homework.
19 and 21 I gave for the homework, okay?
Yes.
So I am sure all of you must have done that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means we need to discuss question number 22. And after that, we have this new topic, forfeiture of shares. All right, then. So let's do one thing. Let's discuss this question first. And if you think you can solve it, we won't be doing this right now in this class. If you find this difficult, then only we'll solve question number 22. Otherwise, I'll give this as a homework for you. Is that clear? Will that be fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says Amit Limited was registered with a capital of rupees 5 lakh in shares of rupees 10 each and issued 20,000 such shares at a premium of 2 per share, payable as rupees 2 per share on application, 5 per share on allotment, and 2 per share on first call made 3 months later. All the money payable on application and allotment was duly received, but when the first call was made, one shareholder paid the entire balance on his holding of 300 shares, and another shareholder holding 1,000 shares failed to pay the first call money. Ask the journal entries to record the above transaction and show how they will appear in the company's balance sheet. Okay, so this question requires us to prepare the balance sheet as well as pass the journal entry. How difficult and different this question is from the previous question that we discussed. This question is not that difficult, but this question contains one new concept or new thing, which is the receipt of call money on advance basis. You can see it says in the question that in the I guess 6th line, it says all the money payable on application and allotment was duly received, but when the first call was made, one shareholder paid the entire balance on his 300 shares. That means on 300 shares, apart from getting the first call, we have also got the final call as well. That means on 300 shares, we have received the payment in advance basis. You get it? We have got the payment on advance basis. So we need to do one more entry for the advance receipt of call money, final call money. And apart from that, every other thing is similar that we have already discussed. It says another shareholder holding 1,000 shares failed to pay. This is called in areas. Okay. So if you want me to do this, I can do this for you. If you want me to skip it for now, I can do that as well. I'll be giving you this question as a homework. But just wanted to know whether you think you will be able to solve it. Shall I give this as a homework or shall I solve this question for you? Tell me both of you, Prerna and Shifa. If you're finding it difficult, no problem. I can explain and I can solve this question for you right now. And if you're comfortable doing this as a homework, that will be even better. Just confirm. Will you be able to do that or not? I think at least that is what I was about to say. That at least you should give it a try. So I'm giving this question as a homework. Just give it a try. If you're not able to solve it, I'll be helping you out with this question in the next session. Alright, so for now, just take the screenshot of this question. I'll be taking your doubt on this question in the next class if you have any problem solving this question. All right. Kindly take the screenshot for now. Done?
Yes, sir, done.
Done. Okay, so I'm moving to the new concept, which is the forfeiture of shares. This is a new concept, forfeiture of shares. I want all of you to put this heading on your notebook, forfeiture of shares. And we'll first of all talk about the forfeiture of shares if shares were issued at par. But before that, we'll try to learn about the meaning of the forfeiture of shares. So what is actually forfeiture of shares? We'll try to understand that first, and then we'll move to the basically accounting treatment of the forfeiture of shares. Just a moment. All right. So all of you must have put the heading on your notebooks. We'll start with the meaning of the forfeiture of shares. See, how can we define forfeiture of shares? Just a moment. All right. See, so we can explain it as forfeiture of shares. I want all of you to note this down. Forfeiture of share can be defined as a situation. All right. Forfeiture of shares can be defined as a situation when company decides to cancel the already allotted shares to already allotted shares of some shareholder or you can also call him investor because of failure to pay because of failure to pay installments or subscription amount of shares even after the request or notice by the company, or you can also call it issuing company. All right. So see, when it comes to the meaning of forfeiture of share, we can simply call it forfeiture is basically cancellation of the already issued and allotted shares to some shareholder because of the non-payment of the subscription amount. All right. So when company decide to cancel the already allotted share because of the failure to pay or the non-payment failure to pay the subscription amount of the shares, that is called forfeiture of share. Let me give an example to make it more clear. I'm sure all of you must have written this down. Please confirm if all of you have written this down so that I can scroll up. Kindly confirm if you have written this down, everybody.
Yes,
Great.
sir.
Okay. So let's suppose that company have issued total shares 5,000, having a face value, or you can also call it par value or face value, is let's suppose 10 rupees each. And company is willing to collect the amount of share on installment in this manner. Company is willing to collect some amount on application. Company wants the investor to pay 3 rupees on application. All right. And company wants the investor to pay 4 rupees on allotment. And then company wants the investor to pay the first call. On first call, company requires the investor to pay 2 rupees. And the remaining amount, which is 1 rupee only, on the final call. Right? This way, company is willing to collect 10 rupees per share from the investors. All right. Now, there's an investor, like let's suppose this is Mr. X. Mr. X have also applied to purchase the shares in this company. And like for example, let's suppose Mr. X have bought 500 shares in the company having a face value of 100 each, right? 10 rupees each. All right. So as soon as he showed interest in purchasing the 500 shares in the company, he applied to purchase the shares in the company, and on application, company asked him to pay. Company ask basically means company made due the application money. When company asked the application money, he immediately paid the application at the time of applying for the shares in the company. So company received application money from him. towards the 500 share, he already paid application money to the company, right? Then company asked him to pay the allotment. That means company made the allotment due. And when allotment was made due, he also paid the allotment money. That means company also received allotment money from Mr. X, right? Then after some time, company asked him to pay the first call. That means first call was made due as well. But he defaulted in the payment of the first call. He did not pay the first call. That means company did not receive the first call. All right. And then after some time, company asked him to pay the final call as well. And again, he defaulted in the payment of the final call as well. You understand that? This is what we call Mr. X is Mr. X have defaulted in the payment of the installment of the first call and final, right? So in respect of 500 shares, he only paid the application money, allotment money, but he did not pay the first call and final call money. That means the payment installment toward which he did not make the payment, that is considered as calls in arrears. So in respect of Mr. X, total calls in arrears is how much? 3 rupees. So in respect of 500 share, he needs to pay 3 rupees, 2 rupees for the first call and 1 rupee for the towards the final call as well. So the total calls in arrear is 500 into 3, that means 1500 rupees he need to pay to the company. I hope this is clear, na? Everyone. So see, in this situation, what is happening? Mr. X has, even though he have bought 500 shares, he paid for the application, he paid for the allotment. But when company asked him to pay the first call, he did not make the payment. And then company asked him to pay the final call. That means final call, when final call was made due, he did not pay the final call as well. Now, after waiting some time, company issues notice to Mr. X. Company notifies Mr. X that that company issue notice to Mr. X regarding the payment of the first and final call. And along with the notice, company also gives warning to Mr. X that if he did not make the payment toward the first and final call of the shares, then whatever the amount that he have already paid to the company in respect of application and allotment will be forfeited by the company. That means company will hold on to this amount, and this amount won't be returned to the Mr. X. And along with that, the number of shares that has been issued to Mr. X will also be cancelled. All right, because he is not paying the first and final call. What company will do? Company will issue a notice, ask him to pay the first and final call money towards his subscribed share, that is 500 shares, and company will also give a warning that if he fails to do that, company will be forfeiting the amount that he has already paid toward the application allotment. And apart from that, company will also cancel the already issued share to him. Company will cancel those shares which has already been issued to him. And this is what we call forfeiture. Company, after waiting some time, what company will do is company will be cancelling the shares that company have issued to Mr. X. These shares will be cancelled, and the amount that he have already paid towards the allotment application will be completely forfeited. That means taken into control by the company, and this will be held by the company and won't be returned to the Mr. X even after cancelling his shares. That is a kind of penalty for Mr. X for defaulting the payment of the first and final call. All right, and this is what we call forfeiture. That is what I have written here as well. It says forfeiture of shares can be defined as a situation when company decide to cancel the already allotted shares of the shareholders or investors because of the failure to pay installment or subscription amount of shares even after the request or notice by the issuing company. All right. And please add one more point here. But before that, just tell me if this is clear or not. Everybody, meaning of the forfeiture of shares is clear to all of you or not?
Yes, clear.
Everyone else apart from Prerna, Adib, Zainab,
Yes, it's clear.
it's clear. Okay. So, as I told you, when company decide to cancel the share and forfeit the amount that has already been paid, what company do? Company forfeit the amount that has already been paid on the installment of the any installment. Whatever the amount which is due cannot be forfeited. Only the amount that has already been paid can only be forfeited. Right? So please add one more point in the explanation. Please write down in case of failure to pay any installment towards the shares, company forfeit the amount which is already paid by shareholder on any installment. And apart from that, company also cancel the shares issued to him. All right, everyone. I hope this is clear, everybody. Please confirm. It says in case of failure to pay any installment towards the share, company forfeit the amount which is already paid by the shareholder, and apart from that, company also cancel the shares issued to him to such investor. Got it? This is the simplest explanation of the forfeiture of share. Now we'll talk about the accounting treatment of the forfeiture, how we will treat the forfeiture of shares by the company. But before moving forward, I just wanted to know if this explanation is clear to everybody or not.
Yes, it's clear.
That's clear, okay. Everyone else, is this clear? Confirm everybody if this is clear. Zainab, Prerna.
Yes,
Zainab and Chipa.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's now talk about the accounting treatment of the forfeiture of shares. Just a minute. See, if we talk about the accounting treatment of the forfeiture, so basically whenever a company do the forfeiture of share, we need to pass a journal entry to indicate that in the books of the company. And journal entry for that purpose is very, very simple. You will have to remember this every time we need to do the journal entry for the forfeiture of share. We will be passing the same entry. All right. That is, I want all of you to note this down. Accounting treatment requires basically passing a journal entry for the forfeiture of share. This is share capital account debit. Share capital account debit. To shares forfeited account. And to whichever call is due, you can write down the name of such call. Like for example, if the final call is due, if the first call is due, then after to share forfeited account, we'll write down the name of such installment which is not paid by the investor because of that being forfeited. So like for example, if the company have asked for the first and final call and it did not pay the first and final call, that means after writing the share capital account debit to share forfeited account, we'll write down to share first call account to share final call account. All right, I hope you understand this. Now, let's suppose, considering our example that I have just taken, explain the concept. As per our example, investors have bought 500 shares now. So when it comes to the share capital account, we need to multiply the number of shares being forfeited. We need to multiply the number of shares being forfeited, 500 into. We need to multiply number of shares being forfeited with the called up value of the share. Called up value of the share. So as per our example, company asked for the application money, yes. Company asked for the allotment money, yes. Company asked for the first call, yes. Company also asked for the final call, yes. Company asked for all the installment. That means total call money is 10 rupees, right? So 500 into 10, it will be 5,000. Okay, and then so what about the to share forfeited account? What value should be credited to share forfeited account? So this is very important. Pay attention, try to understand. Again, we will take the number of shares being forfeited, which is 500, and multiply with the amount that he have already paid. If you are able to recall the example, he already paid for the application, which was 2 rupees, and he then paid for. He already paid for the application, which was 3 rupees, and he also paid for the allotment, right? So he have already paid 7 rupees. So the amount that he have already paid can only be forfeited. Keep that in mind. If he had paid 7 rupees per share, so that amount can be forfeited. 500 into 7 will be 3,500, right? And what amount that he did not pay will be first and final call, right? So he did not pay the first call of 2 rupees per share on first call. That is, he did not pay the 1,000 towards the first call. And he also did not pay 1 rupee towards the final call. It is 500. And after writing all these values, you need to ensure that the debit aspect of the journal entry should be equal to the debit aspect of the entry. So 3,500 plus 1,000 plus 500 should be equal to 5,000. I hope this is clear, everybody. Is this clear, all of you, or not?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now, instead of writing all these values, let me do one thing. What I told you, whenever you need to debit the share capital account, you need to multiply the number of shares being forfeited. That is NSF, number of shares being forfeited, multiply with the called up value of the share. Called up CV stand for called up value of the share. All right. Then when it comes to share forfeited account, we need to credit that by the number of shares being forfeited, multiply with the amount already paid or amount already received by the company. I'm just using the short form just for the explanation purpose. Number of shares forfeited into amount already received. Okay. Then for the first and final call, number of shares being forfeited with the first call money, first call, amount of first call. All right, and the number of shares being forfeited into amount of final call. Got it? Is that clear? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. It's clear.
Now you can also do one more thing. Instead of writing the name of those installments for which the payment is not yet received by the company, instead of doing this and this, you can simply, instead of writing to share first call account to share final call account, you can replace this by just writing it as to calls in arrears account. Let me show that. Instead of passing this journal entry, we can simply pass this entry as well. This is the alternate entry which we will be doing, which we will be using while solving the question. So this is more important than the previous one. Journal entry, alternatively, we can pass is share capital account debit as above. Again, number of shares being forfeited into all the value of the share. Then 2, share forfeited account, no change until this point. Number of shares being forfeited, multiply with the amount already received as usual. 2, calls in arrears account. Calls in arrears account. So instead of writing down the name of the installment for which payment is not yet received, we can simply use this account, calls in arrears account. And here we can simply write down number of shares being forfeited and the amount which is not received, and R for not received. So instead of writing down the name of all those installments for which payment is not received, we can simply replace those by just writing down the calls in arrears account. I hope this makes sense. I hope this is clear, everybody. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want you to write down both these entries. All right, you can use any of these to pass the entry for the forfeiture of the shares. But while solving the question in this chapter, I'll be using this entry instead of the first one. Both are same, but I'll be using the second one. That saves some time. All right, is that clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, all right, to make it more clear, let me take an example. This will help you understand this in a far better manner. For the time being, just tell me whether you have written this down or not. Zainab, Rina, Shifa, everybody done writing this?
Yes, sir. Done.
Done. So let's do one thing. Let's solve a quick question based on it so that we are able to understand some better way. Okay. So this is example number 1. Company have issued 1,000 shares having a face value of 10 each. Table 2 on application, 4 on allotment, 2 on first and balance on final call. Mr. X, who was allotted 100 shares, failed to pay final call. Failed to pay final call and his shares were forfeited. So that means when he did not pay the final call, only then company have decided to forfeit his shares. All right. I hope the question is clear. Question is requiring us to pass the entry. Journal entry. So everybody, I want you to take the screenshot of this question, please. Or let's just don't take the screenshot. Let's just skip this. Let's just skip the screenshot part for this question. Since this question is easy, I don't think you will have to refer it back. So I'm just showing you the solution. If you want to note this down, you can do that. Solution to example number 1. But before solving it, let me simplify this question a little for you. It says company have issued 1,000 shares, but Mr. X, who have allotted 100 shares, failed to pay final call. So there was an investor, Mr. X, who was allotted 100 shares of this company out of 1,000 shares that was issued in the public. He purchased 100 shares. And on this 100 shares, he was supposed to pay the entire amount on installment, that is 2 rupees on application. Then on allotment, he will be required to pay 4. And on the first call, he was supposed to pay 2 rupees on first call as well. And balance was required to be paid on the final call. Can you please tell me the final amount that he will be required to pay? How much he will be required to pay on the final call? The total face value of the share was 10 rupees. Tell me what will be the final call value?
2.
2 rupees, that's right. Okay. So this way he was supposed to pay for his 100 shares. Now, what question is saying that the company, it says he did not pay the final call, and then company have decided to forfeit his share. It simply means that when application was made due, that means when company asked him to pay the application money, he paid for that, right? He paid for that, or that means company have already received that amount. Company have received that amount. When company asked him to pay the allotment, that means when company made the allotment due, he also paid for the allotment. That means company also received the amount towards the allotment. Then company asked him to pay the first call, he must have paid the first call as well. But when company made due the final call, he defaulted in the payment of the final call, not received. Okay. So because all the calls were made due, company asked him to pay all the installment. Company asked for the application for allotment for first and final call. That means the total amount called up by the company, total called up value of the shares will be 10 rupees, right? Called up value is how much? 10 rupees. But out of 10 rupees, how much he have actually received? Tell me, how much company have already received from him? Tell me.
8 rupees.
How much? Yes, company have received only 8 rupees. 8 rupees per share. And because he did not pay the final call, company decides to forfeit his amount. Forfeit his cancel his share and forfeit the amount that he already paid. So journal entry, we need to do the journal entry for this question. That will be, first of all, we'll write down share capital account debit, right? As I told you, share capital account debit. And share capital account debit, share capital account need to be debited by what amount? So it will be debited by the number of shares being forfeited. So how many shares need to be forfeited? 100 shares, right? The number of shares being forfeited 100 into the called up value of the share. How much is the called up value in this case? How much is the called up value of the
10.
shares? Company
10.
asks him to pay 10 rupees, right? So company asks for all the installments, so total called up value will be 10. So that will be 1000. Their capital account will be debited by 1000. Then we'll write down two share forfeited account. Now tell me what amount can be forfeited by the company. So the amount that he have already paid, only that much can be forfeited by the company. Na? So what amount that he have already paid? He paid towards the application, towards the allotment, towards the first call. That means total amount that he has paid towards the 100 share is rupees
8.
8. So share forfeited account will be credited by 800. Okay. Then finally we'll write down. Tell me which installment he did not pay. He did not pay for the final call, right? So we can write this as two final call. How much he did not pay towards the final call? He did not pay 2 rupees per
2
share towards the
rupees.
final call. That means 200. All right. But one interesting point here, instead of writing down the name of the installment, you can simply replace this by writing two calls in arrears. But apart, instead of writing down two final calls account, we can simply write down two calls in arrears. Two calls in arrears account. 100 into 2, that will be 200. All right. I hope this is clear, everybody. Right now, is this clear? Okay. Now you can write down the narration as well. You can simply write down being 100 shares forfeited because of non-payment of final call. Done? Understood, everybody? Get capital account debit to share forfeited account to calls in arrears. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, with that, let's move to the next example. Now we have another example, and in this example, everything is same. It says company have issued 1000 shares having a face value of 10 each, payable to one application, 4 on allotment, 4 on first, and balance on final call. Mr. X, who was allotted 100 shares, again, failed to pay the first and final call, and his shares were forfeited. So this time, he failed to pay the first and final call. All right, everyone. So I hope the question is clear now. Question is clear. Question is requiring us to pass the order entry for the forfeiture of share again. So let's make it a little simpler in this question. What question is trying to tell us? Question says again, Mr. X have applied for 100 shares, and in this question also, he paid for the application. Application was made due, he paid for the application. Allotment was due, he paid the allotment as well. But when first call was due, he did not pay the first call, right? He did not pay the first call. When question is saying that he did not pay the first call, that means company must have asked for the first call, right? company must have asked for the first call. And he did not pay the final call as well. That means company must have asked for the final call as well, but did not receive the first and final call. Now, could any one of you please tell me what will be the called up value in this question? In this example, what will be the called up value, what will be the paid up value, and what will be the face value of the shares? Any one of you. First of all, tell me the face value of the share. 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. What will be the face value?
10.
And rupees. Yes, that's right. That is right. What about the call money? How much money was called up? Company asked for the application, company asked for allotment, company asked for the first, and company also asked for the final call. Then the call the value for this question will be
6 rupees.
called up value is not 6 rupees. Whenever any installment is due, that means company ask for such installment. It says it was due, that means company asked him to pay the application money. The allotment was also due, first call was also due, final call was also due. That means company asked for all these installments. The total called value in this case will be 10 rupees.
Yes, sir.
And then can you please tell me how much company have actually received from him towards 100 shares?
6 rupees.
6 rupees only, right? It's per share. Now considering this, we need to pass the entry. So again, the entry will remain same. Entry will remain same. Share capital account debit, share forfeit account to all the areas. But obviously the values will differ. Now you tell me, share capital account will be debited by what amount? So it is very simple. 100 shares being forfeited, multiply with the called up value. The called up value in this question is also 10. That is 1000. Right? Now, share forfeited account need to be credited by number of shares being forfeited with the amount already received. 6 rupees has already been received, so 600. And to cost in areas, how much amount is still in areas? Tell me. How much amount is still? 4 rupees is still in areas per share. That means 100 into 4, 400. And we'll write down being 100 shares forfeited because of non-payment of the first and final call. Got it? You want to note this down? Do this quickly. If anybody is writing this down, let me know whenever you are done. I would recommend, in fact, you should write this down. It will help you
Sir, can
understand.
you scroll it down?
Scroll down like this.
No, down.
Down.
Yeah. Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay, all right. This was example number 2. So I did two examples for you, and I want the next example. I want you to try that. Try the next example. Everything is same again in this question. It says company have issued 1000 shares having a face value of 10 each, payable to an application for an allotment to one first and balance on final call. Mr. X, who have applied for 100 shares and on his subsequent failure to pay allotment money and first call money and final call money. Subsequent failure to pay allotment, first and final call, his shares were forfeited. All right. So that means he only paid for the application. Do you think you can solve this question? Do you think you can track? You can pass the entry for example number 3. All of you, Shifa, Zainab, and Prerna, please solve the question
Yes.
and kindly tell me the
Okay.
correct entry for this. Do this quickly. Jasola, you as well. Done. Everybody, Prerna, Zainab, and Chifa. Done or not? All of you?
Done, sir.
Done. Okay. Could you please tell me the entry?
share capital account debit to share forfeiture account to calls in arrear account.
Also, it will be the amount. Na? Share
1000
capital account will be debited by 1000. Yeah, right. That's right. To share forfeited account.
200
Yes, that's correct.
and calls in arrear 800.
Yes, perfect. Very good. Everyone did the same. Shifa, Zainab,
Yes, sir.
good job. Well done. All right. So with that, I can move to the next example. Example number 4. I have another example. So I don't have any other example available right now. So I have this question number 23. And this question have 3 cases. All these cases are completely independent. All right. So you can consider all these cases as a different question. I'm not going to solve this question in today's session. I'm giving this question as a homework to you. Kindly take the screenshot. But obviously, I'm going to explain this question. You will be doing it. And if you're not able to solve it, I'll be helping you out in the next session only. It says Alpha Limited issued 20,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each at par payable 2 rupees on application, 3 on allotment, 3 rupees on first call, and balance 2 rupees on final call. All right. So this is how investor need to pay towards the share subscribed. Now it says Mr. Gupta, who was allotted 100 shares, consider case 1. It says if Mr. Gupta failed to pay allotment money and his shares were immediately forfeited. If Mr. Gupta failed to pay the allotment money and his shares immediately forfeited, then what will be the journal entry relating to the forfeiture of shares? Okay. Let's just do one thing. Let me solve the quick case 1 for you, and I'll be giving you the other as the homework. Will that be okay? Is that okay for you? Okay. So let's do one thing. First of all, solution. Question number 23. So let me simplify this question a little. It says that one of the investor, Mr. Gupta, have been allotted 100 shares. Mr. Gupta have bought 100 shares. Okay. And he was supposed to pay this amount on installment, 2 rupees on application, then on allotment he was supposed to pay 3 rupees, on first call 3 rupees on the first call as well, and then the remaining amount on the final call, which is 2 rupees. Right? Now, as for case 1, question says that Mr. Gupta failed to pay allotment money and his shares were immediately forfeited. That means when application was made due, he paid the application money on time, received application money. And when company asked him to pay the allotment money, he defaulted in the payment of the allotment money. He did not pay the allotment money, not received. That is what question is saying. Na? Did not pay the allotment money. All right. And as soon as allotment money is not paid by him, company immediately decide to forfeit his shares. Do you understand the effect of it? If company immediately decide to forfeit his share, that means just after the default in the payment of the allotment money, company forfeited his share. That means now company won't be asking him to pay the allotment money. Sorry, the first call money. First call money was not made due. Company is not asking him to pay first and the final call money. Why? Because company have decided to forfeit his shares immediately as soon as he did not pay the allotment money. So company did not pay the company did not ask him to pay the first and final call. That means these calls were not even due, and therefore company did not receive the payment towards that itself. All right. So could any one of you please tell me what will be the called up value in this case? What is the called up value? Any one of you please tell me the called up value of share. What will be the called up value of the share? Quickly. Any one of you please tell me now. Sorry, could you please repeat? Sorry. You are seeing 10? You are seeing 10, Prerna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shifa, could you please tell me the called up value in this case? Zainab, could you please tell me the called up value?
5 rupees, sir.
Okay, just wait. Let me take the answer from Shifa and Zainab as well. Shifa and Zainab, what will be the called up value in this case?
5 rupees.
Yes. See, in order to find out the called up value, you just need to check the amount due. How much, how many installment were made due by the company? If actually question is telling us that company immediately forfeit a share since he did not pay the allotment money, that means only the application and allotment must have been made due by the company. And since the company have decided to forfeit a share, that means company did not make the first and final call due. That means total amount due is 5 rupees on application plus allotment. 3 plus 2 plus 3, 5. And this is the face value. And what is in this case, what is the amount that is received? How much amount that is already received?
2 rupees.
2 rupees. This is the amount received. And could you please tell me how much is still in arrears? How much is in arrears?
8 rupees.
No.
3
How much
rupees.
is 3 rupees only?
Yeah.
Why not 8 rupees? Because company is not even asking for the first and final call. Company only asked for the allotment. And since he did not pay the allotment money, company have decided to cancel the shares. That means these installments are not due. And if this is not due, we cannot call them calls in arrears. Calls in arrears will only be 3 rupees. All right. So calls in arrears is 3 rupees, right? So in this question, journal entry will be share capital account debit by for 100 share. We'll multiply this with the called up value. Called up value is 5 rupees. Is that right? 100 into 5, which is 500. To share forfeited account. 100 into, tell me. You need to multiply share forfeited account with the number of shares forfeited with the
2.
amount already received, na? That is 2 rupees, right? 200. And two calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. 100 into, tell me. How
3.
much is still in arrears? 3 rupees.
3 rupees.
So that is 3. What is this? Is this clear, Janab, Shifa, and Prerna? This is the answer for case 1 only. Please tell me if this is clear or not.
Yes,
It's
sir.
clear, sir.
It's clear now. So I'm giving you the other cases of this question as a homework. Kindly take the screenshot. Case 2 and case 3 will be homework. I'll be discussing these cases as well in the next class. Done with the screenshot, everybody? Done?
Yes, done.
Okay, then all right. So this is it. This is it for today's session. Well, the things. Sorry. The forfeiture of share that we have discussed until this point is forfeiture of share if the shares were issued at par. We'll discuss more about the forfeiture of share if the shares were issued at premium. We'll discuss about that in the next class. All right. So the point of discussion for the next class will